Okay, this is actually quite early in the day for me to be filming this, you guys. It's not even 1 o'clock in the afternoon. My schedule's been a little bit crazy because my brothers are in town. I've been, visiting with them. And so I haven't recorded like I typically do every day. But this is something that I have been wanting to check out. And well, I've been wanting to do a translation video for this song for a while. This is Selena's song, Amor Prohibido. And then I started watching the series, and then someone tipped me off to the fact that they had recreated this video for the series. I mean, I know that they recreated some of the videos because I'm already on part 2, and I saw where they I saw the recreation of La Llamada, and it was pretty good. I mean, I thought it was pretty faithful to the way the original video went. And I decided that instead of watching the recreation on its own, that I would watch what I found, which are comparison videos between the original and the recreation, and then do a translation at the same time. Now, there have been different videos. I picked one that shows the original on the left just because I feel like that's the way my eye is going to track better. There are some where it's reversed. I also found one where they flipped the video around so that she's flipped, and I didn't want to see that. I mean, I know why they did that, to avoid copyright issues, but I don't want to watch that one because I'm used to the original and I don't want to get my brain confused as to, because it's been flipped around. So I found one, and I see, obviously I can tell the aspect ratio is different. This is 16:9 here. This is 4:3 here on the left, or that's what it looks like to me anyway. So obviously, like I have been doing in my translation videos, there will be a lot of stopping. I will stop after maybe a sentence or two, or maybe a verse, but also because I feel like I'll need to be sort of stopping and comparing. So bear with me, and let's go ahead and jump into this. The title of the song, the translation of the title of the song is Forbidden Love, and it was based on the story of Selena's grandparents, her on her father's side. They talked a little bit about this story in part 1 of the Selena series. And so let's go ahead and jump into the song. I've always liked this song. It's really good. Sorry, I had to find a different video because the one I originally picked was completely quiet. The audio was all gone. And I like this one better, I think, because it looks like the aspect ratio has been kind of made to look the same. So, okay, let's go ahead and try it again. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing some differences, some similarities, some differences. Obviously, Selena is so natural with her talent and her performance and everything. And Christian, I'm not done with the show. She's doing an okay job, but in some ways I feel like she's trying too hard, like Jennifer Lopez did. And so while there are moments where she really shines, there are other moments where it's a little bit cringy because it feels like she's trying way too hard during some of the singing performances. But this first line that she says is con unas ansias locas quiero verte hoy, which means like with a crazy excitement or desire or craving, I want to see you today. I look forward to the moment and where I can hear your voice. Something along those lines. My translations are very rough. It might not be always completely grammatically correct, but this is the gist of what she's saying here. And when we're finally together, the two of us, padre y tu mamá. Okay. What does it matter what your mom and dad say? Okay. Here, the only thing that is important is our love. I love you. Now we're getting ready to head into the chorus. There's definitely some differences. I wish they'd been a little bit more faithful to the original video. I mean, I don't know why they decided to make some of the changes they did, but maybe they did it for filming purposes too. Maybe they didn't want to go and have her be dressed up in this other scene like the way she is here on the left. I was getting ready to say something too, and I forgot what the heck it was. Okay, whatever. Let's just jump into it. Okay, so the first line of the chorus is, forbidden love they say in the streets, or they murmur in the streets. Oh, something what I was going to say is that this, you know what? I'm going to save it for the end because I don't want to interrupt myself too terribly much. I mean, obviously I will. Okay, here we go. Okay, because we are from different societies, like, you know, one's rich, one's poor. They're from societies that don't mix very, you know, the story, the type of Romeo and Juliet sort of situation. Forbidden love, everybody tells us. Okay. Money is not important between us. Neither, you know, like basically it doesn't interfere with their love, you know, how they feel for each other in their heart. And then, of course, oh, baby, which translates quite well into English already. See, some of these are really good recreations here. This verse, she says, even though I'm poor, sorry about that interruption. What I was saying was, in this verse, she says, even though I'm poor, everything that I give to you it's worth more than money because it's love. And when we're finally together, the two of us, this is kind of a repeat. This is a complete repeat, well, almost an exact repeat of what she said in the first verse. What does it matter what society says, basically, about the two of them being together? And again, a repeat. The only thing here, what's important is our love. I love you. And then the rest of this entire video is just a repeat of the chorus, which I'm not going to stop and translate anymore because basically the song itself is done. The two verses, there's only two verses in it, but I might pause every once in a while just to look at the comparison between these two videos. And this particular one here, it does look like this one that I had to find because it got because the audio in the other one was gone. It looks like this one is one I was trying to avoid. It's flipped, but whatever. I know I didn't want to watch one where they had flipped the video, but okay, I'll just go with what I have. Yeah, see, this part here, Christian, she's a little bit too jerky and abrupt with some of her body motions when she's doing these performances. Like, she's really trying to sell the drama, but it comes off a little bit clunky sometimes. Sometimes it's fine, and then other times it just looks like just not natural. Like I said, like it's just like it's not flowing from her naturally. It's being forced from her for, the sake of the performance. Like, yeah. Oh, I know something else I was going to say, that I had heard that when she filmed this video, the shirts that she used were her husband's shirts or something like that, which I thought was kind of cute. Now, I don't know if they're going to show that when I get to it in the series, because the reason I decided to go ahead and watch this now is because I don't want to see it in the series first before I've had a chance to record my reaction. Yeah. Yeah, way too just, yeah. You forget how great Selena was when you compare her to people who are trying to emulate her. And nobody can really fully capture that. Unfortunately, I was just looking at the way Christian was, doing her arms, throwing her arms around, and just, I mean, it's okay. And she's trying. I know she's putting a lot of effort into it, but maybe if I saw this just by itself, it wouldn't seem quite so apparent. I mean, it's already seemed apparent to me when I'm watching the show, but maybe if I only saw this video, it wouldn't seem quite, I mean, I'm comparing it to the original, which is, the best version, obviously. Yeah. Yep. Oh, so sad to see her. I swear, I've got 6 episodes left in this series, and it's just, the closer I get to the end, just, I mean, I've been mad pretty much the whole time. Just, mad at Yolanda all over again and the crap that happened. And just how freaking unfair it was and terrible what happened to Selena. And so I'm getting closer to that moment, and I'm getting increasingly agitated because I know what's going to happen. Someone did tip me off to the fact that apparently they go into more detail as far as what happened that day, because they sent me a link. They posted it on one of my other videos where I was talking, like maybe one of the trailers for the show, where it showed a clip of Selena and Yolanda in a vehicle together on the day that Selena was killed. And what I believe that's going to be showing is, so what happened is there was this, Yolanda was stealing from them. And Selena had made like an appointment, or she'd agreed to meet, she'd agreed to meet Yolanda to pick up these financial papers that Yolanda said she had that proved that she wasn't stealing, which Yolanda had no such papers because she was stealing. But when Selena got there to the hotel, this is what I understand based on my recollection of events. When Selena got there to the hotel, Yolanda had been in Mexico, and Yolanda said when she was in Mexico, she was raped. And so Selena took her to a clinic to be checked out, because Selena was that type of person, caring, loving, trying to help, thinking the best of people. And she took Yolanda to the clinic to be checked out. And while they're at the clinic, Selena, she either got the impression from the nurses, or she kind of sort of intuited this herself, that Yolanda was lying. She was not raped. And so then she took her back to the hotel. And the picture that was sent to me, which shows them in the vehicle, it looks like Christian or Selena is looking quite upset in the picture. Like she's got her head turned away from Yolanda. I think maybe I can't remember, she had her hand up to her face and she was just looking upset. So I think that's at the point where maybe that's where she had come to the full realization that Yolanda was lying about the rape and everything. And maybe also it was sinking in that Yolanda was lying about everything else. That's just my educated guess based on what I know. But I haven't gotten to that part yet. And I don't know how much of this show is going to focus on what happened that day. Obviously, Yolanda has entered the picture. I think she showed up already. It's once in part 1. But anyway, this is it's a decent recreation. It's not perfect. Christian's performance was okay. I mean, she probably did better than many people could do, but clearly comparing her to the original, it's almost unfair, honestly. What I was going to say is that I wrote a note to remind myself was that not only is this song is the story of Selena's grandparents, but it's also in a lot of ways representative of her relationship with her husband, Chris. And, you know, as they show in the series, her father was very much against their relationship. I can understand that to a degree, but he was extremely militant about it. And he didn't want her to have a relationship with anyone in the band. And I almost feel like I should save this sort of thing for my review, but I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead into it, but I'm just going to go ahead and dive into it. But part of that is because he was afraid it was going to mess up everything that he had built, as he even said in the show. You know, you're going to destroy everything I did, because in many ways, this whole thing about Selena and Los Dinos and the band and everything, that was her father's push. That was her father's drive. He was reliving his fantasy or his wish or his dreams through his kids, and he was pushing them because his music career never really took off. I'm not a fan of Selena's dad. I never really have been. And this show is treating him fairly in a way, but at the same time, the people that worked on this show, they only dealt with Selena's family. And so obviously Selena's family is going to present more of a nice and rosy side to it. They never consulted with Chris Perez about this, which I think is just absolutely terrible. And I think that the way Chris was treated by the family is not okay at all. I've always felt quite sorry for him, and just seems it was just a lot of the stuff, in my opinion, was very uncalled for, the way her father reacted. But the point I was trying to make is that this song, in a lot of ways, is also about Chris and Selena's relationship, because they had this forbidden love. They hid it for quite a while from her family. The show does not reveal this. They kind of make it seem like the father just accidentally found out because the door swung open and he saw them in a kind of an intimate situation. It wasn't anything over. It wasn't like they had their tongues down each other's throats, but he could tell that there was something beyond just friendship. But in real life, from what I understand, what I've seen from multiple sources, is that it was her sister who ratted her out. Suzette ran and told on Selena. They did not show this in the series, which I'm not sure why they did that. Well, maybe it's because Suzette doesn't want to make herself look like the bad guy in the picture, you know. But anyway, whatever. That's all these crazy family dynamics that they had. They were extremely close. But like a lot of families, they had their issues. Oh, I know. I think another thing I was going to say is that I'm guessing that perhaps one of the reasons that her father did not approve of Chris is because Selena and her family were Jehovah's Witnesses, and Jehovah's Witnesses can be, well, they typically are very tribalistic. They don't want people, they don't really approve of people marrying outside of that faith, that group. And so they don't really touch on this much at all. I think they mentioned their congregation once, I believe, from what I've noticed so far. So they don't really delve into that part of it, but I'm just thinking maybe some of it has something to do with that. It's probably a mixture of both, the whole deal with the band and then just the religious part of it as well. But anyway, I've kind of rambled and jumped into stuff about the show that I didn't really mean to do, but you kind of can't help it. I'm in the middle of watching the show. I watched this, and so I'm going to try to edit this so that it can go up not too much longer from now, but I expect that there's a big possibility when I upload it, it might get blocked immediately just because of the copyright settings and everything. So it might be a month or more before this thing actually makes its way onto, being live on my channel. It's very possible that my review for the series will go up before this, but it doesn't really matter. The timeline's not really important. This was mostly supposed to be a focus on the song. And I not only focused on that, but went far beyond. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, you guys. Hasta luego.